Hello everybody, and welcome to Dungeons & Dragons Valkyrie, a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign where a bunch of people who were originally strangers meeting on Reddit become the best of friends while playing Dungeons & Dragons live for you every Monday night at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am your host and Dungeon Master for the evening, The Majestic, creator of this channel here on Twitch, which is www.twitch.tv/TheMajesticGamin, J-I-M-I-N-O-G, as well as the YouTube channel, The Majestic, where these videos get uploaded to, and you can find just by searching The Majestic or by going to youtube.com/The Majestic. But I am joined by the same incredible players as last week, minus one. Unfortunately, Justin is not feeling well today and he could not be here. But I am joined by the same incredible players, and I will let each one of them introduce themselves as well as the character that they are playing. Starting with Rachel. Say hello to everyone, Rachel.
Hello, I'm Rachel, and I play our half Elven rogue, Mira Helder.
Perfectly done. And Brandon, say hello to everyone.
Hello, I play Jax, the Black Dragonborn Paladin.
Perfect. And Sean, say hello to everyone.
Oh, I'm not last now, am I? I see. Hi guys, I'm Sean, and I play Itzli Talish, the Yonti Bard.
Perfect. And go ahead and say hello to everyone, Fred.
Hello, I'm Fred, and I play Tristan Darkleaf, the human fighter.
Perfectly done, and you see his little character there too. Today, we are going to go ahead and start up where we left off last week on episode 40. First off, guys, we did 40 weeks of this. Oh my gosh, we're already at episode 40. And I sort of want to try and do something like special for episode 50. When we get halfway to 100 episodes, I want to see if we can do something special. But that's another 10 weeks from now. I mean, pshaw. Tell you what. Real quick before we start up, though, I do want to do a few shout-outs. First off, huge thank you to Kevin McLeod, who makes incredible music for free out there on the internet. That is absolutely incredible of him, and he has lots of fame and success from doing it, but he still makes it free, and that's awesome. Thank you so much. Huge thank you to Carly Matson on Twitter, who created our first ever fan art, and it was an incredible piece, which is included in the intro. Why am I still playing the same way? Intro that you guys saw at the very beginning, as well as at JMool on Reddit, JMOOL, who created more fan art for us, which was like this comic strip, and it was from a really funny scene in the campaign. That was awesome of him. And if you want your fan art included in the beginning of this video and want a shout out, we'd love to see fan art. If you guys are just sitting there for a few hours and you want to doodle and draw, we'd love to see it. That would be absolutely awesome. So you can send that to The Majestic GMNG on Twitter, and it will definitely be included, and you'll get shout-outs. But speaking of shout-outs, I would like to do a couple of quick shout-outs to some of people who have been sitting down and watching us for hours on end, for multiple weeks on end. Hello, Commander Root, if you are one of the people watching right now. Thank you so much for staying tuned and tuning in every single episode. That means so much. Apricot Grapefruit, hello, and thank you so much for joining us. Slow Cool, Ian Fusion, Electric Longboard, Positivity Bot, thank you all so much for staying tuned for over, I don't even know the comparison, it's like 40 hours or something like that. I don't know, something. It's like a lot because you guys get a certain amount of points, and I don't want to do the math right now, but thank you so much again. But let's go ahead and get into the game that you guys are tuning in for. In the last episode, the group continued to fight down in the basement of the Mages Guild here in the city of Thornapple. Their fight began the week prior when they were told by the head of the Mages Guild, the Lord of the House, who was a mummy lord. They were told by him to go down and retrieve his wife. Seemed like a simple task, but he did mention a little bit before they embarked on their quest that some of her loyal soldiers may have turned somewhat evil. And that's what his belief was, is why she didn't appear for the special celebration that they were having that evening. They went down into the basement to find that they were indeed surrounded by a number of skeleton soldiers. After fighting that off in the week prior, last week they also encountered a vampire lord. Could you imagine if it was a dragon lord down here in the basement? Oh, that would have been crazy. They encountered a vampire lord and a number of his vampiric spawn minions who, all the undead, began to attack them upon sight. They were able to defeat all of them, one of them escaping and running away, but all the others were completely slain in battle, all aside from the Vampire Lord, who did vanish as well at the very beginning of the fight. But they also found the mummy wife, who Fred incidentally mistook as one of the enemies that they were trying to battle, and after a few rounds of trying to attack her, Jax pointed out to him that this was probably the person that they were sent to retrieve, and after realizing that she had not fought back, Tristan, I don't know why I said Fred earlier, sorry, Tristan, did indeed, realize, oh, this is probably her, so they started to take her up, but in the final moments of the last episode, Eatsley thought that her presentation wasn't very appealing, that probably the odor, as well as certainly the appearance of the dragon, or, geez, the mummy, female again. Oh, geez, you guys might think that there's a dragon coming or something soon. I don't know. The mummy was not quite to their performance that they had wished, and so he decided to take it into his own hands, and with a wave of said hands, she quickly and magically shrunk down in stature to the size of a small, adorable garden snake in front of them. And I will let you guys take it off from there.
All right.
Ah, you looks much better now. Please, how are you? And I speak to her because I can now speak to snakes. See what she says.
Interesting, yes. Okay. What you hear back is sort of a snakish interpretation of...
Mummy growls.
Yeah, sort of. It's just like it's trying to speak to you, and it's beginning syllables of different words, phrases in snakish and in a slithery kind of way, but no audible words are formed.
Would I understand like general emotion, like you and I, if we were to speak and I was just to go, ugh, you would know that means exasperated, etc. Is there anything like that?
You see a little bit of like frustration and not being able to speak, like, and like grunts in between, sort of like how normal people would if they like had their tongue tied in such a situation, but to an extreme. Also, a little bit of... Go ahead and make a perception check to see any further.
Oh yeah, not rolling a roll 20. Gonna have my die out. Thought I was ready. My perception is not great. +2. That's a D12. 18. Wait.
18.
Yeah, 18. 18 total.
You get the idea that she's not only frustrated, sort of a bit sad to be in her present condition, but also somewhat relieved now, like letting out a huge sigh, sort of, after you guys ended up freeing her from what could only be assumed to be allies who had turned.
Okay, so I just tell her, do not worry, your present state is temporary. It's just to surprise your husband.
It just sends out a little bit of a nod.
Alright, cool.
Tristan looks at Isley. Are you going to carry her upstairs?
Now she can walk. It is exhilarating being able to slither.
Okay. Can I unsummon my elemental? Or do I have to light out the candle?
To unsummon an elemental, you would blow out the candle.
Okay.
Which I believe you left upstairs, correct?
Yeah, on the top floor, yes.
Okay. Alright. Alright, so do you guys begin to make your way upstairs then?
We do.
I do want to mention before we go, if anyone needs it, I found some armor in the hole that I was in. I'm pretty sure it triggered the trap, so it should be safe.
What kind of armor?
Kind of had gold to it. I'm not sure if it was actual gold, but I Can't wear it, so I didn't bother.
I'll peek in there and check it out.
So it's plate armor?
Someone who has no belongings.
Do us a favor. Go ahead and make an just general dexterity check for us.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, hey, not terrible. Okay. 15.
Okay. You're able to suck it in and squeeze through and move through to the one area, particularly with your large bit of armor sort of being in the way, and namely with your large dragonborn stature and lots of muscles. Finding it a little bit difficult to get through, but you are able to squeeze your way through and go inside, seeing the skeleton with sort of a domed crown around, not crown, sorry, domed lapel up around his face, moving down this gold armor plate, which he's sitting in a pile of now emptied out bags and random rocks and other miscellaneous junk for the most part. But the gold armor certainly does stand out, and you could take a bit more of an investigation check if you'd like.
Yeah, can I like try and like, is it plate armor or like a different form of heavy armor?
It appears to be sort of a well, it just appears to be metal armor. Anything more than that would be a check.
Okay, then I'll take a closer look at it.
Okay. Investigation for me.
Let me check. 12.
Okay. You get the idea that this is possibly some sort of magical armor, with sort of a little bit of a hue around it that gleams a little bit more of a glow than most normal armors. But it appears to be sort of like a light metal armor, if that makes sense.
Interesting. I will pick it up.
Alright. And, yeah, anything further would need more checks or anything like that with a 12.
Sure.
But yeah, alright. So you can add that to your inventory. It takes you maybe like a minute or so, but you're able to pick it up, add it to, well, able to sort of drag it out as you make your way back outside. And yeah, sorry, I was just thinking about how you would end up carrying the armor without wearing it.
Okay.
What would you like to do with it? Because it is a rather large...
Yeah, I can't like stuff
full
it in my
body.
pack.
Yeah.
I'll like throw it out the hole like piece by piece or something, and then when I come back out, let me see what I've got.
Do you want me to put it in my bag?
I've got it for now.
All right, because I'm not
No
supposed
offense.
I'm not sure if we should actually take it.
I think my elemental can carry it for you.
Well, I don't know if the guy upstairs would get mad if we took it.
Can I try and like roll it up in my bedroll using some of my rope to tie it off and keep it secure?
Yes. In fact, the way that I picture that, it sort of reminds me of when you tied Mira to your back. Like tying it with rope around your body. Yeah, it would work, but you sort of have like just an empty armor piece, sort of also like in Sean's campaign, sort of those metal men. Just you're able to like keep it together bit by bit, or like Chewbacca carrying C-3PO. Yeah. I could definitely imagine that you could tie that where it is like a backpack or something and wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to have it like wrapped in the bedroll to try and hide it the best that I can.
Fair enough.
Just in case.
Wrapped up in bedroll, you make sure that none of those little shiny metal bits are showing. And for being in its present condition, I would like to point out too, you did notice it was rather very shiny for what it was. I'll just say that bit. It was great condition for being down in this dusty, musty, glum basement of this mansion.
Can I
here in the
make
hill.
an Arcana check on the armor?
How much do you show of it, Jax, as you take it out and wrap it up? Do you like allow for people to come up and take a look in the party? That is.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be like a jerk about it and hide all the cool magic items that I find.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check for us.
It's 12. Not very
12?
good.
You get the same idea, a bit more of an impression of how it's standing out to you, how shiny it is, how glamorous it is, really. But that's about it.
Okay.
So once that's all set, we'll start heading up.
All right. You guys start making your way upstairs, and as you do notice that the snake does have a little bit of difficulty going around on the steps, but it is a circular stairway, so after like trying the outside steps, it goes up on the inside where it's a bit closer and a bit easier for it to maneuver, and slowly the mummy
If she's
getting
having a lot
accustomed.
of difficulty, I'd probably try and pick her up. Because getting upstairs, being that small, would be kind of hard.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
All right. 9.
It looks like she's having a good bit of trouble with it. And to you, it doesn't really look like she's starting to get the hang of it at all.
Yeah, I'd probably pick her up.
Okay. You pick up the snake, and at first it sort of like tries to slither and is just confused by the situation, but it slowly just accepts that it's gonna be half elf handled for a little bit, but yeah, it allows you to pick it up and everything like that, and she, I should say, is okay with it for now. And you guys then make your way up the rest of the stairs and return to the front foyer, the back foyer with the sarcophagus open that you guys had entered down into. Sort of a tomb, kind of. Not sarcophagus, sorry. Awaiting up there are 2 of the skeleton guards that, upon seeing you guys at first feeling, are just more so reminded of all the villainous faces that you guys saw downstairs. But you realize that these are the friendly skeletons who were not turned by whatever sort of strange magic it was that turned the rest of them, and are perfectly alright with it. Sorry, this was the wrong one. Yeah, Alright. I'm gonna go up with this map, because I'm not seeing that other map here. Should probably check some more pages and stuff. But you guys make your way back up to the top of the Mages Guild. I'm just gonna go over the top of everything, and now that that music is gone, I'm gonna add some background music. You guys are greeted by, once again, the skeletons as you come up, who guard you into the study where everyone else was waiting at the time, along with the Lord, the Mummy Lord, that you guys had seen as well. He comes forward to you guys, who had just walked in the door of the study, and says, "Oh, good. You all made it back, safe and sound."
For the most part, yes.
Where is my wife, by chance?
I set the snake on the ground.
You should call her. Call for your wife and see. And I'm like beaming.
Make a beaming. Go ahead and make a persuasion.
Why do
check
I
for
have to
us.
make it? Oh, persuasion. I was gonna say, why do
Yeah.
I have to perceive? Persuade. Wait, you let me make a persuasion check? Wow, it's been like 8 sessions. Okay, 1 second here. 28.
Okay. Yeah, it was still a high roll, but not quite close. All right. Let's see how this one is. Yeah, he looks at it and goes,
I was trying to persuade him just to call her name because I
Yeah.
don't think he knows the snake is her. I'm not telling him
I know.
that yet.
I know.
Okay.
In a language that you've not quite heard before, he says, like with a little bit of a hint of a question at the end of it. Tell me, in a snake form, does it recognize anything other than common? Or snake?
It recognizes its own languages. It just might not be able to speak them because of physical limitations.
Okay. So it recognizes
and
its own
what-
languages, though?
Yeah, and it would recognize its friends and stuff like that. Like, you're still you, but it's what I would do is, as the snake like does something, reacts to husband, I would drop polymorph slowly and in a very flourishing way. It's just presentation.
Okay. I thought you said, and in a very flourishing way, and then you stopped talking like you were going to say something more. Fair enough.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so you drop polymorph and she reforms back to her mummy stature, and a sigh of relief comes about his face, noticing that it is his wife. He then goes toward his coat, and under the front of his here, let's see if this helps any. Under the front of his shirt, or sort of robe that he's wearing with elegant gowns that flow down to the ground, he takes out this small necklace that he was wearing around his neck, and attached to it is this red potion in this very tiny vial. He begins to uncap it, the top of it being screwed onto the necklace, and takes the potion vial, goes up to his mummy wife, and begins to pour it into her mouth. Oh, darling. Thank you so much. And you, all of you, thank you. Well, some of you I wish to thank a little bit more than others, she says while talking at Tristan.
I apologize.
Is everything all right, my darling? The mummy lord says, all is fine now, she says. Honey, you should know, it wasn't just the madness that caused my servants to turn on me. I think we should discuss this further in private quarters. Indeed. We will be back very soon. Please, all of you, enjoy your evening. Again, we have more appetizers and other small delicacies that you can partake on while we are gone. As he points to the ghoul or the zombie waiters who hold trays of just more rotting food. Some full apples in one that are just completely covered in mold and fungus to the point where it looks furry. And then they begin to walk out of the room.
I get my candle back from wherever I put it, but before blowing it out, I look at the elemental and ask, when I summon you, are you always the same one? I ask in Primordial.
First off, your candle was left in the dining room. Would you like to ask one of these skeleton guards if it's alright to lead you there?
Sorry? Oh no, I just go back, go pick the candle and come back.
Okay.
And on
Fair
the way, I ask the elemental if it's always the same one.
Do us a favor, just for for my sake, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Oh my god. It's a 9.
As you approach the door to go out of the study and go back to the dining room where you guys were originally, one of the skeleton guards tries stopping you and holds his hand out, and him and the guard to his side, moving close to each other and sort of widen their stance as they move outward to lock themselves in position, prevent you from going through.
I just need to get something on the dining room. Hey, you speak in common?
They tilt their heads, and there's this little squeak as it's the mix of the armor that they're wearing, or maybe just the bones scratching against each other. As they turn their heads, they look at each other. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I'm really good at those. Oh, 16.
Nice. Just make sure. Yep. They move back out of the way, bring their weapons with, and allow you to pass through. As you walk outside, the Mummy Lord and his wife are out there talking, and the Mummy Lord says, "What? You can't be serious about this. And to think we'd invited them in our home. They will pay for what they've done."
I
None
quickly
of them
go back,
will
go
live to
behind the
see
wall.
each other. Go ahead and make another stealth roll.
That's a 14.
14?
Yes.
Okay. You get the idea that they haven't noticed anything. They haven't noticed anything about your presence. They were off a little bit off in the distance, and you can hear them loud because they're speaking rather loudly, seeing as how all the doors are so thick and the walls are lined quite well with all this material in this old mansion that you guys are standing in. They're talking rather loudly about this, and they continue. He says, "We won't give them any validation right now. We won't let them know that we know. We will stay quiet for now. But before the evening's end, they will be dead." And the wife says, "All right, if you think it's best." And they begin to walk back into the room.
I wait for them to leave, quickly grab the candle and go back to the group. And I think to the stone, "Guys, I think they plan to kill us." And I tell what I heard.
As I'm saying, these people are so nice, so likely to invite us into their home.
I tell them what I heard.
Are you sure it was us that they were talking about?
There were
Who else
many
could
other.
it be?
There are many groups here tonight.
Yeah, most of them
They
are
should
already
use-
dead.
There was a vampire down here when the whole thing started.
Right.
They could be talking about them. There are a multitude of groups.
Just saying, let's keep the guard up. Just beware. And then I ask my elemental if he's always the same one.
All right. Your elemental just sends a little bit of a nod, and you get the idea that each and every time you summon him, it is going to be the same one. Sort of like the candles linked to this soul, this spirit.
I will call him Splash.
And fair enough. I would like to point out, as you get the candle, though, the wax has pooled a good bit around the edges on the outside of it. Dripping down along the sides, there's a bit of a pool down below as well. And you get the idea for the time that you've had it lit. About a tenth of the candle has been used up.
I already used it twice. Does it count for that?
Yeah, so far, a tenth of the candle's been used up.
Okay. I go back to the group.
Okay. You head
After
back-
what
sorry, go on.
Tristan says, I'm going to just use my divine sense to kind of just get a feel for what's around us, because I can detect celestial, fiend, and undead within 60 feet. So I know that like where their locations are, just in case they're planning some sort of ambush or something.
Okay. You get the idea that all around you, there are a number of undead. The mummy's glowing as undead. The vampires are glowing as undead. The werewolf is not glowing as undead, but the ghouls that had arrived, your server butler zombies. Really, the only ones not undead, celestial, or fiend. Do you sense evil?
I mean, it says as an action you detect good and evil, but I don't know.
Okay. Then the general feel of the room is strange. From everyone, you get the idea of a possible strong evil, but nothing like you've seen like in the Underdark. Not like a strong, overwhelming evil or anything like that. More of a maniacal, just nature about them. And you see everyone is undead, all but the bird of the sorcerer himself, the water elemental, or water Goliath, essentially, and the Cyclops. But everyone else you see as undead, and you get the general feel of the room, which is, again, not this overwhelming evil, but there is, like, darkness hidden deep down. Like, suppressed darkness, we'll say.
Okay, so it doesn't feel like they're about to lash out at us, basically.
Not from what you can tell.
Okay.
Alright.
After hearing what Tristan said, could I just like kind of step off to the side to a corner, write in the notebook my mom gave me? Can I write, just in case I'm at the Mages Guild?
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Just so the people know we're actually here.
Tristan tells you as they walk through the door as well, so go ahead and just give me a stealth check.
Just straight up stealth?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought dexterity. 18.
Nice. Yeah, you successfully sneak around a corner with a plant and 2 chairs along the sides, and then there's this open corner there that you're able to go around into and quickly write into your book and pop back out whenever you wish, making it look like you were looking at books and things of the sort. You do not see a reply as of yet.
I just wanted
Okay.
that to be sent.
Fair enough. Fair enough. When coming back into the room, the Lord and Lady Mummies. A toast. They raise their fine gold and the Mummy Lord's is gold with jewels imbued in it, and the Mummy's wife is silver or crystal, it would appear, as they raise up their goblets. To all our friends, old and new, we toast once again, all being together now, all those essential here now, the beginning of the new life, once death has taken its domain. And everybody cheers.
That is mortifying.
You guys...
Are we given drinks?
I was gonna say, everyone else had already had drinks that the zombies had brought out throughout some time. There are 2 zombies with a total of 4 goblets sitting there who are proposing them to the majority of the group of you the moment he says a toast. But you guys do not have any drinks in your hand yet.
I'm gonna grab one and sniff it. Does it smell like there's poison?
A smell of poison. I haven't heard that before. Do us a favor,
I
I
mean,
just
I
think
do
that-
know poison as an assassin.
You do know poison. You know, I'll say perception with advantage.
Perception, god damn it.
They're gonna use anthrax on us.
Oh, thank
Magic
god it's
is very low.
advantage. So that's a 20 total.
20 total. You're smelling for hints of apple seeds that might be used to make cyanide, for hints of certain death lilies or any sort of deathly agents in this, and you don't
Purple
get
worm,
any
you
strong...
name it. Oh.
Yeah. You don't smell the blood of a purple worm. You don't smell any strong, potent poison. It smells disgusting, mind you. It smells like maybe wine that was made from raisins instead of grapes, something of that sort, if that's even possible. But it does not smell like poison.
I'm gonna think into the stone. It's not poison, but it smells like shit. And then I take a sip
Mm.
when everybody else does.
Perfect.
I'm already done my drink.
I'm going to take it and just throw off on my shoulder,
All right.
like pretend
Alright,
to drink.
great.
That's gonna sting
Yeah.
terribly.
Yep.
Oh god.
Also, do us a favor, go ahead and roll sleight of hand. For those of you who do drink it, it does not taste like the delicious wine that you had at dinner, considering that was just well aged. No, this was wine that was made from rotten fruits immediately, like, as opposed to being made from fruit and then aged afterwards. This does
It's a
not taste great.
29 sleight of hand.
Jesus. Okay.
I have
Somehow-
expertise.
Somehow you do that miraculous trick where like you gulp, 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 and you're pouring it down the side of you, and it's just like perfectly set so that it looks like it's going straight into your mouth really quickly, but no, it's just rolling down the side of you, not hitting your body or anything like that, because that's an incredible sleight of hand, but instead going right down to a potted plant that you're standing next to, and giving good sustenance to that. As you already see, some of the leaves start to turn brown. Now, I would like all of you to once again reconvene back in the dining hall. All of you except our new friends. And it's about this point that Tristan gets, oh shoot, what was his name? The mummy lord begins to point to everyone. It started with a T, I thought. Sorry. Begins to point to everyone. Real quick, Rachel, did I happen to tell you guys the name of the mummy lord by chance?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I don't
I
think
haven't written anything down
Fair
since you told me who made the message notebook.
Okay. Because if I had, then we are changing it, because I did misplace that note too. But his name is Tethers. First name. He introduced himself when he first came back, and you guys still have not heard the name of the mummy wife either. It's at this point that Tethers begins to point around, and he says, "To my new friends, all but my new friends, and you," as he points to the vampire delegation, essentially, that is made up of two members who were sitting just directly to the right and left of Tethers when he had the dinner a few nights ago. He has a stern look upon his face, which is hard to distinct underneath the bandages and gauze that's wrapped around him, but you can still see it and make it out and tell that he is very, very disapproving when pointing to them. Everyone else begins to leave the room.
He's disproving when he points to who? Sorry.
The vampires that attended dinner.
Oh, gotcha.
Neither of them, however, were the ones that you guys saw downstairs. If anyone decided to take a closer look at them, seeing them up here now, in comparison to the mummy lord that you saw downstairs, neither one of them looks to be them. Yeah, does anybody want to do anything while he begins to this talk or begins to let everyone else leave the room?
I will
was gonna
go
s-
speak to him if I can.
Fair enough. What were you gonna say, Brandon, as well?
Well, I was thinking about doing another divine sense to try and sense the other vampire, but I don't think I can like discern the difference between the undead. Like I don't think I can specifically point out like vampire from like zombie, so it would kind of be pointless.
I believe so. Um. You go up to them, Tristan, then, and as he's allowing everyone else to leave and thanking them one by one as they walk out the door and saying, "Enjoy the sustenance that awaits out there," in small little phrases as such, you approach him and you catch his attention. He says, "Yes, please, please. I want you and your friends to stay. Don't leave quite yet." As he sort of gets the impression that you're walking up to also leave, maybe.
Yes, Mr. Tethers, right?
Yes, Tethers.
I'm pretty new to magic, and I got this deck, and I put the deck of many things and take it out of the cloth and show it to him. Can you tell me anything about this?
Possibly, but we will address that shortly. For now, there are some few words that I would like to say to Nefri and Pamena.
I'm sorry, who?
Panama.
Oh, the concert. Okay.
To our vampire friends here. As a stern face once again goes upon his face as he looks up from you and looks back at them.
Was Nefri and who?
Pamena. Pamenha.
I asked him, is it about what happened underground?
Indeed. Also, it's no
Okay.
free, just to make sure. No free.
Should we be prepared?
We shall see. As the doors begin to shut.
I go
Now,
back to the...
I would like you folks to tell us your recollection of the events that transpired down in the basement. He says, looking at the lot of you.
You want the story?
Indeed. But so long as it is the truth, don't elaborate or
I would never.
fantasize.
Oh, actually.
I think Jax would probably be the best person to tell this story.
Drastically.
Yeah, as soon as you
Don't
say
take
don't
it
be
going too far.
fantastical, Itzley puts his head down, like in shame, and just steps away. He's not the one to tell this story.
Whatever you say. Well, walk down there, and there's a giant room of skeletons. They immediately came after me, but it was super easy to just cut them up. Those weren't a problem. Then these big snake bone guys came out of nowhere. Almost single-handedly killed one, but you know, I was gonna take its spine. It's this whole thing. Anyway, so then another one showed up. We killed that one. Blew it into a flame wall. It was pretty sick. And then these vampires stepped out of the shadows, spoke to Mira here. The head guy turned into like smoke, went up through the floor. And then he sicked his
Wait.
vampire spawn on us.
I would like to know a little bit more about this head guy.
Mhm.
What did he look like? Do you see him about here?
Don't see him here now, no. But he said he was going up to tell the others or something like that.
He said he was going up to let everyone upstairs know that we were down here. Like, he didn't know we were sent.
Yeah. He also had a cauldron of something brewing.
My lord, this is simply absurd. How can it be absurd? We all know who it is that they would have seen down there. No, my lord, my sir, please. Please. Waraku, I promise, was unable to make it tonight. We told you. He simply had other matters out of town that he could not get out of. You all have been making claims on this guild for a long time. Attempts to overthrow it and take it for yourselves. Attempts to use its power for your own personal means. But only with your leadership, sir. Please, please. You must believe us.
I'm gonna cast Zone of Truth.
Okay.
It's a 60-foot sphere.
So around
everybody
all of you,
within it.
yeah.
Yeah, has to or no, sorry, it's a 15-foot sphere. So it's a 60-foot range. But so I'll place it on the vampires, whoever's in that general area.
Already.
And it's a charisma save, DC 14.
Is
I know if
Eva,
they-
or are we not in range?
I believe it would be everyone in range, correct?
Whoever's
Yeah,
within
something
15
like that.
feet
If I'm
of
in range.
vampires, because I place it right on the vampires.
Okay.
I don't know how big the room is, so
Yeah, I have no idea if I'm close enough or not.
The room is quite a large range, but you guys are all standing very close, made sure by the knights, the skeleton
Okay,
guards,
I will.
to ensure. So yes, everyone would be within it.
Okay, then anybody within 10 feet of me, add 3 to their saving throw.
What is the save again for it?
It's
It's
charisma,
right?
DC 14.
Okay,
It's-
they both save.
Damn it. And I know if they fail or save, so.
I got a 9 with the plus
What was the
3.
DC?
14.
It's a 14.
Oh god, I'm way beyond that. I'm good.
Yeah, so I got like a 22 or something.
I got a 9.
I tried.
26.
So Tristan's like the only one that.
No, I got a 9 with the plus 3
Oh.
you gave me.
Yeah, I have a -2 to charisma.
Oof.
I got a plus 3 to charisma saving throws just because I'm not proficient.
Also, the mummy wife did not save, but she was the only one of the NPCs, aside from maybe some of the guards. But
And that lasts for 10 minutes. It's not like concentration. I can't just drop it. So
okay,
I guess Tristan and Mira and the wife are compelled to tell the truth.
yeah.
I'm just not gonna talk because I know it's cast upon me.
So the wife comes out and speaks up and says, "You know it's true. They tried to take over down there. They were gonna murder me and let all of my entire army reign up here as well. And slowly and surely take over this city. All by your hands. Why would you do it?" And Pamena just begins to, no, we did not do that. I swear it. You can tell though that Jax, that Hoda is definitely telling the white mummy wife is definitely telling the truth, and Pamena, you don't know.
Wouldn't the other person have to? Oh, it probably saved. Never mind.
Yeah, everybody else saved.
Do you guys interject at all? Sorry, should have asked that sooner.
I think everybody knows that I cast the spell on them. If they know what the spell is, I don't know that. But Jax will just say that I tried to compel them to tell the truth with a spell that I know. They were able to withstand the spell, but your wife was not, and she speaks the truth.
I go ahead and say, yeah, I'm under the spell's effect as well, and your wife is not lying, she's telling the truth. As is my friend. And I just go back to the group.
The Mummy Lord lets out a bit of a growl in his anger. How dare you? The Mummy Lord begins to, in his angry persona, begins to swirl up at his feet, in sand swirling up. Quickly, it begins to move around and around and around. He is going to do multiple things at once. The Mummy Lord first off transforms into a whirlwind of sand, magically spinning, twirling, and enveloping. He can move. He moves up to the two vampire lords who are in there as well. Very, very suddenly, you see these vampire lords begin to gasp for air as this smoke begins to... Not smoke, sorry, the sand begins to go into their lungs, but it's something more than that. They're unable to breathe. You see this black poison start to spew through their veins, going through bit by bit as they fall down onto their knees, unable to breathe, taking all this pain, yelling out if they could, but unable to even breathe or speak. Slowly this wailing begins to happen from these vampire lords, these powerful, tough, vampiric creatures. Undead and unholy creatures fall down to their knees in this terrible, terrible pain as slowly and surely their sunken in eyes already, their sunken in features from being undead, go in even further and begin to decay, drying out, the moisture practically being pulled from their bodies, and slowly and surely falling down onto the ground as the dust begins to settle back onto the ground and reforms back into the Mummy Lord. I am sorry you had to witness that, he says, looking down at the bodies of the two deceased former allies of him.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I appreciate you all. Admire this skill that comes with my age, but it is not a day for celebrating at all. They had terrible, terrible instructions or objectives, whatever it is that they were hoping to achieve, would not have been good for all of Thornapple. And there is one more out there, one who it sounds like was relaying information to them. This enemy of all of ours now goes by the name, if you heard it in the conversation, goes by the name Weraku.
How do you spell that?
Weraku.
Can I rummage through the bodies to see if I can find anything that, like orders or something? Or just any item?
That would be wise, yes. Please, be my guest.
Okay, what do I roll?
Investigation check for me.
15.
15. You find a chess piece on one of the deceased vampires. You're assuming, by the way, that they talked, that this one is no free. It appears to be just a small pawn, this chess piece.
What is it made out of?
Can you
Glass?
tell me that? Is it glass? I think it's glass.
It was glass.
Okay. Yes. And I was thinking about that too. I was gonna say that it was
Just
a small...
like, I found something.
Yeah.
Yeah, my third session.
You find also a crumpled page of parchment paper with multiple names written on it. Incidentally, none of these names are people that you've heard of tonight. Certainly not Tethers Anaset or... Tethers Anaset or Hoda Anaset.
I give them to the mummy lord and say, I found this. It may be of your interest. And I give him the paper.
Well, these names are heirs to an estates in a far-off kingdom, if I'm not mistaken. These are noble men and women of noble bloodlines in the city of Selenus.
I also found this chess piece, and I show him the glass pawn. Would you know anything about this?
I would not. I have not seen anything of the like before. Please, all of those are for you to take and further investigate if you wish, but all I know about them is that they would not have had the courage to take this undertaking alone. For a long time, they've tried to place their hand into taking the Mages Guild from our family, and have never succeeded.
Would I remember? Oh, sorry.
No worries. What were you asking?
Would I remember or have seen the other chess piece that we got from the Abishai?
You probably. I mean, you guys still have them, right?
Yeah, but I think Mira got it, and I don't think she showed to anyone.
Yeah, I don't remember who had it.
Got what? Sorry.
There was
Oh,
a
it was
chess
before
piece.
he joined.
Yeah. There was
Yeah,
a
we
piece
found
of the
another
blue
chess
Abishai.
piece.
Do us
It
a
was-
favor. Go ahead and make an
No, it was the
intelligence.
Dark Abishai on the camp.
Yeah, it
Fair
was
enough. Fair enough.
the black one, I think. I think it was black.
Yeah, black.
Yeah, I got a D4 with a Demon Lord on it, a watch, and the glass chess piece from him, I believe.
Real quick, one more time. What was Tristan's investigation check for the body here?
15.
Yeah, I'll also say that you find a necklace. It was really difficult to find. I didn't know whether or not you saw this, but 15 would. A necklace around his neck, and at the very bottom of it, it appears to be a little creature preserved in glass, a tiny squid preserved in this glass ornament.
I take it and also show to the Mummy Lord. What about this?
Has no significance to me. It is odd, but maybe that would help explain their reason for taking action now. The times are certainly changing now. The people are changing because they know that something is coming.
What does this necklace have anything to do with it? The squid?
He takes a closer look, takes it in his hand. There are writings of a demon god whose symbol is the squid.
Oh shit.
This might be the work of the Demigorgon.
Yes, I knew it. We saw the altars down in the Underdark with like the squid heads and shit, right?
Yep.
Would I tell the Mummy Lord about the Abishai that we fought that also served the Demigorgon, and how we found a similar chess piece with one of them? See if he would know anything about it.
If that is the case, then it would appear as though this demon god has pawns at play here on the world of Valkyrie. Pawns and pieces and servants who will do anything for them. What is the piece that you found? He asks.
The vampires at a glass pawn.
And what have you found before?
It was also a glass pawn, and then I pull it out of my bag and I hold it up to show it.
So either you have 8 servants of the Demigorgon up here, or you have 16. Here's hoping it's the former. Or the first one. I forget which one.
The blue Abishai.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
No problem. Another problem that you guys have encountered is with you, he says while talking to Zash. Yeah, I was told I'd be getting the rest of the information about my soul after we did all that for you. Indeed. The piece that you seek in the water plane, young fire elemental, is that of a... Oh!
Oh!
I'm not gonna say the name, but thank you so much for following. Yay! Okay, Miss Lube. Okay, hi, thank you so much for following. We all like your name. The person, or the location of the first hammer is in Aquarius, and it is from there that you can reach it with the help of others, but it is somewhere directly between the point of the mainland and the island where you will find that hammer down in the deep depths of that lake. So it's a lake, not an ocean or a water plane. No, but it has its own ecosystem, you might say. Its own creatures living in there, and a lot of them at that. Now the other hammer is located somewhere which you might far prefer. The Furnace Wilds, to the northeast. No, sorry, northwest. of the world, but the Furnace Wilds are a large place, and without wisdom far greater than mine, I'm afraid I can't tell you its exact location. But a third and final hammer is located somewhere else that you might like. The city of Mirage.
Oh shit.
Somewhere within that city lies 1/3 of your soul. Same with all the other locations, and it will take a great deal of perseverance to get them. But if what you told me before your encounter in the basement is true, you do have time, but not a ton of it. I'm afraid to say that you might have a year, if that, to go without a soul. Death will be gleaming at every doorstep. And until you regain that bit of your soul, escaping it will be more difficult. Keep that in mind.
Out of all three of these locations, which one is currently the closest? At least to the city.
The city of Mirage would definitely be on your way over to the city of Aquarius, and then to the northeast of that, the Furnace Wilds.
To Mirage it is.
As long as it's not 25 out.
We don't have to do Mirage now.
It is the closest. Why not?
Whichever you all wish to do, I wish you all the best of luck. And luck in fighting off those who would appear to be servants of an evil god. It is
Thank you
Well,
for
we're
all.
going to have to get to it eventually.
Indeed. It will be coming for all of us very soon. But it is all of you. The door to the study opens up, and it is the familiar face of the butler that you guys had seen, the one who cast the magic to raise the army of zombie servants. Sir, there is a visitor at the front gate. Well, I am with our new friends at the moment. Sir, it is the leader of another mages guild.
Oh shit, it's a Grendel.
Very well. Allow him in. Yes, sir.
Watch this be fucking Jeff Lockmeat.
Oh my god, 3 people who are gonna post him.
Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
So, with all of this taken care of, he says while pointing down to the dehydrated bodies on the ground. Sorry, hiccup suddenly. With all of this taken care of, I take it that that is all for your questions? Have I delivered my end of the deal sufficiently?
I have one question before we go. Can you point us in the direction of the city's best inventor, or blacksmith?
Yes, he can. He says, well, this is not widely known, but living here in the middle-class district of the town of Thornapple, most people will go to the most expensive one for the most expensive and valuable equipment, but there is an inventor here in this district who could create practically anything you can imagine. His name is Ikejet, and he is a master elf craftsman.
Would you mind spelling that?
Ikedjet.
My God, I almost spelled it right.
Yep.
And I'm gonna ask him,
Ikedjet.
sir, about the deck that I asked earlier.
Of course. This is quite something. More ancient than I, and you do not find that often. This item is the deck of many things.
Yes, that I know, but I also know that it usually has more cards than this, and we only
Does.
and I tell him what Jeff said to me about he only have good luck with the deck. So, could you
well-
tell me if the deck is maybe aligned to bad luck, something like that?
It would take a certain kind of magic to be able to tell that, and not your ordinary detect good or evil, but more of a foretelling magic than a present one.
Like divination?
Indeed, he says with sort of a smile that comes through underneath the wrapping. You
Okay.
should have a bit of luck either way. There are many possible cards, and just because one person has had only bad luck doesn't mean, or only good luck, does not mean that only bad luck is left. It could still be 50-50, it could still be 70-30 in either way. Or worse, or better. There's no way of knowing, and that is why this deck was made. But there is one rumor set down, that when you complete and pull the last card out of that deck, you gain the ability, unlike any other, to change fate, to change power. Incredible things come from that deck. He says with
As
sort
if I
of a
needed more reason to draw from it.
gleam in his eye. Huh?
As if I needed more incentive to draw from it.
He says with a bit of a
Okay.
gleam in his eye though, but when he's talking, you notice that he's like drawn into it with every word that he says, and he speaks with like a slow, of course, ancient tone, being a mummy that's lived for millennia.
I'm gonna
But-
test him. Would you like to draw one? And I offer the deck from to him.
I'm not so sure about that right now, but I'd be willing to take them off your hands for a price.
How much for one card?
$1 million gold.
For one card, I would pay nothing. I see that you are wishing to get rid of them, but for all the cards, well, let's just say I do have a good bit of gold that runs in my family.
How much are we talking about?
1,000 per card remaining?
No way. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not willing to make that deal. Would you trade one from something like a magic item?
Do me a favor, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Okay. I'm really bad at this. Oh, 13. Not so bad.
No, I would not. Again,
Okay.
I'm not even ready to take anything out of the deck at this moment. And if I were, I'm not so sure I'd trade anything for it.
Okay, thank you, sir. But last, would you know any way to track someone or find someone?
Using magical means or
Any means necessary.
any means necessary? Scrying would be your best bet.
Sorry?
Using a certain kind of magic to look in on a certain object that you've enchanted or a certain person who carries said that object or you have a strong connection with is known as scrying. That would be your best bet, and other than that,
Can I
there's
find
one or
someone like this in
two
the city?
things that you might be able to do. Right. Sorry about that. One more time, what did you ask?
If I can find someone like that in the city.
Again, your best bet would be Jet.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I think we'll be taking our leave, and I look at the group.
Do you guys all leave?
It is
Yeah.
time for us to go.
All right. You guys make your
Yeah,
way
can
out
I
of the
try and
study.
get a? Can we try and see who the other mage guild leader is as we leave?
Yes. You guys make your way out of the study. You guys are directed back through the dining hall, back through, well, the kitchen first, then the dining hall, and out to the front foyer. And there you see, coming in from a heavy rain, with his jacket over, shaking that off. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, thank you very much. And it is so great to see you again. He turns and you guys see Grendel.
Hey,
Oh,
Not this time.
I've been looking for you, lot. You guys disappear so quickly.
We're looking for you as well, Grendel.
Oh, well. I'm sure we have a lot to discuss, but would all of you mind waiting here for no more than 5 minutes while I have a word with Mr. Apophis?
Sure.
Anishat. Sorry, Anishat, not Apophis. Although it should be Apophis, but anyway. Thank you. I will be back very soon. Be sure to try the food and the hors d'oeuvres. They're quite good. He walks off, and it does take about 5 minutes before he returns. Well, we'll discuss more about that later. Indeed. But I will see you around. I will see you around. I'll see all of you around, he says while waving over to the ghouls and the werewolf, the giant, the giant water elemental, and everyone, he says while waving to them. They all give a wave back. Now come. Let's go get some dinner, shall we? And he begins to lead you guys to a nice little restaurant that he, while on the talk, continues to praise the entire time, saying that it has some of the best food, and it's located right near the center of the middle class district. And
Going outside, can we tell how late it is?
good question. It is it is late. It is about midnight, if not 1 or so. After all that you guys have done, after all that you've seen in that location, things of the sort. Yeah, it is pretty late, but yeah. do.
Grendel, are you sure this place you're talking about is still open?
Well, lucky for us, it seconds as a bar. We should be able to find some seats and at least a drink or two, if not sustenance. Although a drink or two can be rather sustaining as well. When we get there, he says as he whispers a little bit more to Jax, we need to have a word.
Privately?
Yes.
Okay.
So, what have all of you been up to, he says, while you guys are making your way down the street.
Have I met Grendel before?
You have, I thought? No, you have not.
He's the only one who hasn't.
Yes, I thought that you did because the last time you guys saw him was when you guys had that camp, but it was directly the day after. So my bad. When he asks this, he still acts about the same. He looks around at everyone, but he sort of waits for an introduction from Itzli and the rest of you as a group to let him know who Itzli is.
I mean, good day. It is nice to meet you.
Are you all right there, young one?
Little bit of indigestion. Too much undead food.
Oh yeah, you ate it.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, I ate everything and drank everything. I'm immune to poison, so I like to test my stomach, my iron stomach limits.
On the way to
It
the
all tasted
restaurant,
gross.
on the way to the restaurant, Tristan will tell Itzli about everything that happened since he joined the group.
Okay. All right. You guys do that as it slowly begins to stop raining too. You guys were passing along in the rain a little bit. It is the same downpour that covered Grendel when he first approached at the Mages Guild in Thornapple, and it continued on for a little bit, but you guys see no trouble with it all except for Zash, who does find it a little bit annoying more than anything with each drop that hits him. It slowly fades away, and you discuss and tell him all about Itzli ever since he had joined the group, about the stories that he likes to tell when you guys go into different cities, and the magic that he has used, including the aid that was ever so useful in escaping when in the city of Asante when all the guards turned on you guys. You passed along the information, I'm sure, about how the Asante guard had... the Asante Knights had...
Tried to frame us?
Yeah, tried to frame you, too. Oh. Well, you all have been busy since I've been gone. These are quite interesting
is true.
times.
But it also gives us an opportunity to have a whisper campaign in the meantime.
I'm just glad I wasn't a part of that mess.
Yes. And where was it that you were again?
I was with a bit of a friend of yours.
Friend of mine. Huh. I'm an old man who has many friends. You might need to clarify that a bit.
Kind of look up at the sky. Kind of look around a little bit. It was Sahanin Moonbow.
The goddess?
Mm-hmm. But you had met her with us before as, and I attempt to say Delilah's name. I'm testing the waters.
Okay.
She said I couldn't say it.
Yeah. But, like, do you say it in Common? Do you say it in Elvish? Do you say it in... How do you say it?
I'm gonna say it in Undercommon, because I think this guy's a smart dude, and nobody else knows that language in the group.
Fair enough. So you try to speak the word Delilah in Undercommon. And as you do, you are unable to speak.
Can I try and say something else unrelated?
Yeah, you can try. You go to say another word and say sorry and recuse and recollect yourself. And as you do, you're unable to speak still.
I kind of look up at the sky and flip the bird.
Oh dear. Grendel begins to laugh. Oh, someone did not want you telling that bit of information. It should wear off in an hour. Sorry, you kind of what?
Oh, I was gonna get out my journal that I still need to make a laugh before, and I was gonna write out. I was gonna start using it to write instead of speaking.
Is it the information journal?
It's the journal that I bought that I'm going to put a lock on. It was just a
Okay,
normal
that's what I
leatherback
figured.
journal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll move on then. You pull out that journal and a writing utensil at the ready, just in case you do decide to
Speak.
relay information without being able to now speak for the next hour or so, it would seem, according to Grendel's information. Ah, yes. Well, a lot of you have been busy then, especially if you're out there making friends with gods. That's good. You will need that. Just like I need a pint, he says, while you guys slowly pull up and finally make it to the tavern. On this dark night now, the stars are beginning to pop out from behind the clouds, which stopped dropping rain a bit ago. You guys pull up to this area, and you still hear the of horse-pulled carriages, as well as the of horseless carriages rolling down the streets and occasionally driving by you and splashing water up toward you guys, but the sidewalks are long enough that you guys are able to miss it, and you guys pull up to the tavern, which has a sort of decor outside, like, you wouldn't even know that it was a tavern without Grendel's assistance. It's just another building on the side of the street, which has darkened windows and a door that he pulls open and leads you guys into. As you guys get into the building, his cloak, his what's it called? His coat, we'll just say, is now completely dry from all rain, as opposed to by magic. And you guys get inside to see just a very few people on the inside. Is Grendel. Ah, good to see you again. We will have a number of your best ale. And is there any food sustenance you guys would like?
I write on my paper. It says, I would like gin and potatoes. And I show that.
Okay, do me a favor. Quick persuasion check. I don't know why. It's just something a thought that came to my head. So we'll say that this is persuasion. And
16.
16. Alright. And a glass of gin and some potatoes, it would seem, for our young half-elven lady here. So, you all have a seat. Jax, if you wouldn't mind, let's go into the back section here. Don't worry. I know the owner quite well.
All right.
He leads you through a door that would appear to go to Well, there are two doors that you see in the
Private
room
dancer.
beyond. You see a door off to the left of the bar, which leads back to the area that you're about to walk into, and then you see another door that is behind the bar that has a window in it that appears to lead to the kitchen. So you only have the idea that this is not leading to the kitchen. And then, of course, on the opposite or on the adjacent wall is the doors to the bathroom, and then the door that you guys came in was the front door, directly opposite of that. But you guys head over to your front left and go into this back area, which appears to have just a number of crates and barrels stacked up. There are a number of shelves, bookshelves that would appear, and stairs that lead up to the upper level, which you would assume might lead up to the store owner's bedroom or something like that. But there are bookshelves and a couple of couches back here as well, aside from just all the storage that there is. Please, have a seat. I've been away and helping someone who I believe your party knows, and with all that's been happening to you guys, with her, I decided to sort of take her on as an apprentice for now, in the ways of magic. But you know what happened with my last apprentice.
I do.
I know some of the worst parts of your history, and you know mine. And I feel that is what makes friends good friends. Being able to know those bits of the history and still move forward. In all my years, and I hope wisdom that I've gained from those years, I still feel lost. Second guessing myself about the decisions I make, the things I teach, and the things that I do. But we must have apprentices to lead on our ways, to continue where we are unable to after certain times. I had a vision. Upon your guys' battle with the Demogorgon, I shall forever fall.
We can't keep you from having that outcome.
I'm sure you'll try.
Sure,
We'll
will as
try.
well.
So this apprentice that I've taken on, Ava is her name. She will learn a great deal of the information that you guys will need to know in the later comings of your quests.
You said that this is someone that we've met before?
Yes, this is somebody that you met before. The name Ava Sor sounds familiar, but you'd need to press Grendel a little bit more to learn a bit more about her in order to remember her, you feel, probably.
Okay.
I mean, you could make an intelligence check for me. Go make an intelligence.
Sure. Ooh, 16.
Yes, it does sound familiar. You get the I would say that with 16, you probably have met, like, 4 Avas in your life. And you're able to remember each one of them pretty well. You're not sure which one this is, so you need to press them a little bit more. There is more that I've been needing to talk to you about as well. So, Mira told me a bit about Sahanin, and you've changed your religion. Is that true?
I have.
For a paladin to change his religion is not common, certainly. But you should know that it has always been coming. Sahanin will guide you well, and will be the voice that you need in the hard times, especially considering what the alternative was.
What was the alternative?
Let's say a possible other fate. Being guided without reason can do terrible things to a person.
If it wasn't for Sahanin promising to do what she could in the fights to come, I probably would not have changed.
And she can stand by those promises. Now, tell me. You said you were looking for me too? What for?
We were going to ask you about these hammers we were told of. When fused together, they're supposed to create a new soul. We were hoping to use it to help Zash so that he doesn't die. The leader of the Mages Guild here, Tether, was able to tell us where we could locate the hammers to the best of his knowledge. But we still don't know what to do after that. We don't know how to get them together. We don't know how to save Zash's soul or replace Zash's soul or what exactly we need to do, but I thought if anybody might know something, it would be you.
If I'm not mistaken, with those hammers, they would forge into a singular weapon of incredible power upon meeting. And it would have to be the destruction of that weapon that would release its soul, and the missing piece that could hopefully fit your friend.
And how would we destroy it?
Dragon's fire. True fire from an ancient dragon would destroy it.
Alright. That won't be easy to get.
No, especially considering it will take a good bit of it. A great deal of it, not like continuing a flame of a once breathed breath. No, you would need directly from the source, the fire of that dragon.
And after it's destroyed, how would we then get it in Zash or fused to Zash?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, bringing your friend close to it at the time of its destruction should leave the soul with the quickest possible route for it to go, being your friend Zash.
Seems pretty
It's like-
dangerous.
It's like lightning. It will take the best and quickest solution. It is dangerous. Either you'll need a dragon ancient who is as good enough as a friend to do this for you, or as good enough of an enemy.
Indeed, we've been making a lot of enemies lately. Don't really need an ancient dragon. Hopefully they'll be a friend.
I hope
And
so. Be
this-
sure not to mention the one that you've already slain, yes?
Yeah, possibly a mistake.
Like too kindly on that.
And this new apprentice, you said that we have met her before. Where did we meet her?
Ava Marie Lionheart.
Oh shit.
You guys, if I'm not mistaken, met her on your way to the Citadel
Yes.
for the very first time.
Her and Zash hit it off pretty well, if I recall.
Yes. She was very lost then. Still very lost now. But
As we all are.
indeed. It never changes that much, you know. No matter how old you get, how wise you think you are. Always feel lost.
Well, at least we can be lost together.
For as long as
Thank
it
you.
lasts, he says as he raises up his drink and takes his
I will do what I can to prevent that.
These kinds of prophecies, these ones, they are a bit more difficult to move around.
Won't stop me from trying.
Fair enough. Fred, you said that while Jax is in the back talking with Grendel, you go out to find a book, but yeah, it's past midnight, and you guys are all sitting in the bar. You could go out,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning pretty much now.
Okay.
Can we inquire if they have any rooms in this place?
Yeah, you guys can certainly ask that out in the front, and you find out that they don't have any rooms available here, but a very, very close is a inn that is open at all hours of the night.
We can just pass out drunk on the tables. That would
They'd
work.
kick us out.
They can try.
It's at this point that you guys see Grendel and Jax return. So, how are you enjoying the vodka? And it's about now that you're able to speak too.
Well, I was drinking gin, but
That one. Glad to hear your voice is back.
yep. Well, I know she was serious.
He chuckles, but you do see like in his eyes there's like a bit of a tear that had built up. Like you see a bit of sadness in his eyes. Well. All of you, including the newest of you, I'm glad to see you're continuing to live up to what destiny has planned.
We'll continue to try.
I don't know if it would be... Hold up, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool, alright. My thing was spiking for a second. Alright. I don't know if it would be apropos to tell you a bit about your future, but I know that some of you are in a great hurry to help your friend out. Some of you are in a great hurry to fulfill fate and prophecies, and some of you, he says while looking back at you again, Mira, would like to settle down for a little. You could, if you all come to a census, take a bit of time and your friend will be alright. Well, he says while looking at Zash now. But don't dawdle too long. Nobody has all the time in the world. And avoiding the inevitable will not make it come to fruition. Alright.
Well, I'm tired, so let's get some rooms and go to bed.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
So how are we gonna split this up? 2 rooms? If we can get it?
Yeah, I'd say that you guys are able to get 2 rooms for... It's a middle class district. 10 gold total.
I shall take it out of the party fund.
Grendel does his own room. And you guys all go to bed. A number of you having filled your bellies with potatoes and alcohol, and you guys wake up the next morning to a full, lively, once again, city of Thorn Apple as the metal machinery whirs in the background.
And I believe we're level 8 now, right?
You guys are now officially level 8. Yes, you guys leveled up at the end of last week. It did not take effect until you guys went to bed. And so now you are all level 8.
And I just rolled and I got all my magic missile charges back. Yeah!
Nice, nice.
I rolled a 6.
You all feel a good bit stronger, a good bit more resilient and powerful. When you wake up in this new hotel, which in now the light of day appears to be a bit more grimy than you originally noticed, especially with some of you possibly just unable to keep your balance, maybe a little bit from not eating all day, fighting and working up a sweat, and then going out and having a beer or two. You guys just really didn't notice it beforehand, maybe, but now you guys really start to take notice that this place, it's a bit grimy, it's a bit dirty, but it was a place to sleep. The beds were comfortable enough, and aside from a stray cockroach that you see out in the hallway, the living conditions were not too subpar.
I eat it.
A
They
tasty
charged
treat
10
for
gold
Itzli.
for this?
10 gold total.
Yeah,
Does
that's
anyone
still a
I just want to
lot.
make sure you marked it right.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
And what did you say, Sean?
Sorry, I'm on speakers. Did anyone catch me eating it? I tried to do it in secrecy because it's embarrassing, but I can't help myself.
In secrecy, fair enough. Go ahead and roll a, I would say sleight of hand then, but we'll just say stealth.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check. Everyone else, what's your passive perception?
12. Because I chose
12.
abilities for improvement.
Ooh, and Sash's is...
Are we all like together now then? Like out of our rooms?
I would think so, yeah.
I rolled a...
How much? You cut off, Sean.
Yeah, sorry. I rolled a 12.
12. Okay. So... Yes, you
This is what
are...
you see, Mira.
what did you say, Brandon?
Well, I was just gonna say that if we're all together, then everyone is gonna notice Jax looks a little bit different now.
Yes.
He has patches of not quite gold, more of like an off gold with some hints of a tealy color scales, shiny bronze scales along his face in certain patches and spots, and maybe a little bit on his hands, but yeah, he's looking different now.
I don't know a lot about Dragonborns, Jax, but do you have acne?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have discolored scales.
He checks out his hands. Maybe he sees like 1 or 2 scales on his hands. He's very thrown off by it. He has no idea what it means.
Yeah, you got some on your face too. It's kind of weird.
Starts to touch his face, seeing if he can feel the difference between the scales.
I think it looks cool.
I take the mirror out of my Thieves' Tools kit and I put it up to his face.
It's like pulling at himself, looking at, inspecting the scales. I don't know what this is. Is Grendel with us?
Good question. You look around and you particularly look at the door that Grendel had bought for himself, and remembering the possibly blur of last night, depending on how much you drank, which is up to you. You remember the room that he had, though, and the room itself, you only see one of the attendants, one of the maids, backing out of it, and you see no sign of Grendel.
Well, as I hand the mirror back to Mira, I say, well, this is some shock. And then lightning arcs from my hand to the mirror. And it is a shocking grasp on accident.
Did you break my fucking mirror?
Let me roll for mirror. There it is. Yep. The mirror shatters into pieces as suddenly the shards of the glass reflective surfaces of it shatter down to the ground. The metal zaps with this electrical energy, and
I really
upon
hate to
going
ask, but do I
it
take
back-
damage from that? Because I'm holding it.
Wait. Maybe I can fix this, and I wave a hand over, accidentally casting mending.
Oh my god. You asshole.
Do us a favor. First off, how much damage does somebody usually take from shocking grasp?
It's 2d8, so I can roll for it.
Just roll 1d8 for us.
Oh, okay. 7.
Oh, okay. You take 7 points of lightning damage as it shocks up through the metallic surface of the mirror as he hands it back to you, onto your arm as you instinctually quickly let go, and it falls down onto the ground. It's at that point that Jax would say, let me try and fix it, and he picks it up and casts mend on it.
You can also fix
happen?
your... Yeah, it's just a cantrip.
Okay. You see, it quickly reforms itself.
I can also fix your hand, sorry, and I do lay on hands on her hand to give her back
Okay.
7 hit points.
Okay.
So, to those of you who are not involved with this, you see very suddenly the Dragonborn Paladin that you've known for a long time, most of you being able to cast incredible magic feats that he's never been able to do before. In quick
Nice.
succession, one after the other.
This is pretty cool. How did you learn this?
I don't know. It's the first time I've done this.
Do another.
That's not fucking fair. You wake up and you can do more magic. That's just not fair.
Let me think about something. What's something cool to think about? Maybe fire? And I accidentally cast Firebolt.
Oh god.
Oh.
Do us a favor. Go ahead and make a firebolt. It's not a attack roll, right?
It is. It is. It is an attack roll.
It is. Go ahead and make an
Yeah.
attack roll.
Oh god. 23.
Okay. With a 23, you think about fire, and suddenly you feel this buildup of heat flash from your hands. You instinctually hold out your hand down the way of the alley, or the hallway that you're standing in, and suddenly out of your hand blasts this firebolt. The maid who's walking
shit.
back to her cart, she quickly gasps, leans back, pushes the cart forward so that it goes right over her, just past her. Wait, none of you guys can see all this pantomiming them doing. You see her as it flies right by, goes all the way down the hallway,
Sorry.
and blasts out a window.
Oh god. I don't think I can fix that.
She
Sorry.
quickly darts down the hallway, rolling her cart as you just hear squeaky, 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 running really quickly down the hall.
Oh, no.
Maybe we should hold off on testing my new abilities for now.
I'm going downstairs.
You're glad that was a really good attack roll. That's a really good thing.
It was.
You're very lucky he didn't make you roll to see who you accidentally hit.
Well, or nat 1 just would have set the whole place on fire. That was the best option. So yeah, you guys make your way downstairs, and yes. Sorry, what would you guys like to do?
First thing I would like to do, I mean, whether we get breakfast or not is fine, but outside of here, I would really like to go to the inked jet guy, or inked jet dude.
I mean, I said this in chat, but he sounds like an office supply company name.
Well, now that you said inkjet, yeah. I see it.
Yeah,
But-
on the way there,
It could
I was
jet.
trying to buy a
It could jet.
notebook
Inkjet.
and a few pencils.
Yes. So you guys make your way down there then. Does anybody want to get breakfast?
Yeah, we should all
No.
probably eat.
Might as well.
Very well.
I'm good.
Eggs
My
and
tummy.
sausage.
You had the
Gross.
cockroach, so you're fine.
Yeah. Filled himself up on that. The rest of you go out for what would appear to be more like Belgian waffles or something like that. Like a really place that's made for breakfast, where they sell that. They sell like eggs Benedict if you want to order that. Things of those sorts. And I'd say that among the lot of you, you spend another 6 gold pieces maybe on that lunch. It was a really humble place.
I
that
got
sells
that
really
out of the
delicious
party
food.
fund. That is only has 3 gold left.
Nice.
Oh, it's a good thing that didn't cost more. But yeah, you guys make your way then to Inkjet's, we'll say, office, or Inkjet office.
How much? How much would a notebook cost?
Hmm.
Notebook, not too much, about 2 silver, 1 silver.
Okay, I'll get one
Okay.
on the way.
You went to the inkjet office to pick up a notebook?
Yeah. Yep. You guys go there, and along the way, you are able to pick up a notebook, Tristan, and you guys come into the office, the shop, which has a very, very dark exterior. Again, you're starting to think that the information that Tether's told you is starting to live up to its reputation, where not many people know of this guy, maybe, but he might have like really good quality stuff.
I open the door and enter.
As do I.
You open up the front door, and there's most of the shops that you go into, there's like a little bell that rings, ding 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 ding. There's nothing really that rings to signify that there's a customer at the front door, but you open it up, and the quiet, still air encompasses you as you go in. The quick smell of gunpowder, oil, and metal fills your nostrils as any tinkerer's shop might, but this one is darkly lit. All but a light over in a far corner that is difficult to see based on, especially if you're shorter among the group, towers and towers of miscellaneous scrap metal and designed pieces.
Upon smelling this, I kind of grab Jax by the wrist and say, "You're not going to do that fire thing again, are you?"
I can't promise anything. I'm still learning how it works.
Go ahead and
There's
make
a lot of-
Constitution saving roll. No, okay.
Oh, God. There's a lot of black powder in here, and it's very flammable.
Makes sense. Yes, that's what my gauntlet uses.
Yep.
Yep.
Just you and I look over at Zash, and you. Just please be careful. I don't want to get kicked out.
You
We'll be
guys,
fine.
I take it you guys make your way over to the lit corner, because
Yes.
being the taller among the group too, Jax, you do see that over in that corner. It appears that someone is sitting there working face down in some doodles and designs. And you guys make your way over. I want everyone to just make a dexterity saving throw. Or dexterity check. Check.
This guy got this place booby trapped.
Sorry, is this versus magic or is this a different type of dexterity saving throw?
Oh my god,
It's a
yes.
check. It's a dexterity check. It's not. It's versus a
It's
number.
not a saving throw.
Just straight
Okay,
dexterity?
Roll
Straight check.
very
Dex
well.
check.
11.
11.
23.
23,
18 minus 1, 17.
17. What about Itzley?
8.
Okay. And all right. So none of you knock over any of the piles of the very precariously hanging towers of metalworked scrap and things of the sort. You guys make your way over to him, and without even looking up from his pencil and paper, Jax being able to see him first, I assumed you would lead a bit more, and he goes, "Oi, what can I do for you then?" So he's sitting down, doodling on a notebook, or on a piece of paper, large sheet.
Oh, sir. Are you Ickjet?
I am.
I
He
was
turns around, looks at you.
told that you are the best inventor in the city.
Without a doubt.
I was wondering if maybe I could have a couple things commissioned through you.
For the right price, sure.
First off, my friend here, and I point to Tristan, recently lost a very special sword to him, and I was hoping to get a new one made. The idea behind
Look,
it.
I'll stop you there. If you're coming to me with swords and maybe armor, you can just go somewhere else. Anyone can make a sword
This-
and armor.
This is not an ordinary sword. I'm
What,
looking
is it?
for
Set on fire or something. I've had that done.
no,
It's
no,
ridiculously
no.
boring.
no magic behind it. More some like a sort of sword that could extend out, sort of like a whip, like it can detach, become flexible, and he could like lash out at people maybe slightly farther away, maybe out to 10 feet or so.
As
maybe
Jax
Retract
describes
back.
the sword, Tristan goes to the guy and shows a drawing of the sword that he made in the notebook.
Okay. Describe to me the drawing that you have.
The design of the sword, the rapier with the handguard shaped like a leaf, but instead of dark green, it's gold.
Dark green, gold. Instead of dark green, it's gold. A leaf
Yes.
design?
Yes, the same. Like he shows the rapier that he had. He drew his old rapier.
What was your old rapier looking like again?
You can see on my character. He's on the
Oh,
his
that's
hip.
fair, that's fair. Do-do. By rapier, I always picture like a much smaller sword. I didn't know that your sword. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
my rapier.
But what's different about the sketch about it with the extending bit?
So the idea behind it would be, because Jack's never talked to Tristan about this, so I'm assuming he just drew his sword, like his normal sword. So
Yes.
so it would look like that normally, but then like maybe you like click a button and it like loosens and falls almost whip-like with sections of the blade still on it, and then you could like lash out and shit. So let me see if I can find like an image.
Whips
of
are
what
a
I'm
reach
thinking.
weapon, right? So when it's in whip form, he'd get an extra 10 feet or 5 feet or something, right?
Right. So like
I'm
maybe
kind
like
of
take up like a bonus action or something to like click the button to like change it, and then
looking over the design, and I'm gonna say,
I found it.
if you're gonna do slashing with that, rapier might not be the best. They're mainly meant for stabbing.
Oh, wait. Maybe from Gin, like. Wait. You found it. Go on, please.
So he begins drawing like a rudimentary picture too of the rapier that you had described himself, but also shows like sort of a chain link connection too around the side, and he says, "Ooh, cool. So you mean something like this," as he begins to draw it out, and it shows like the extendable outward bit of the rapier at the bottom there, and from the hilt, from the handle, it detaches and comes undone, and a large chain moves out of it, so that it has an additional 10 feet of movement. He says, "If we were to try and make that, though, it would certainly lose probably a lot of force maybe in the attack, because you can't control it quite the same. Now, you guys continue to explain it like this, and I wish I could show these ones to the chat. Dang, that's a really cool one, that last one, Tristan. That's really nice. Actually, I might be able to. Open link. Okay, so for the people watching the stream, it looks a lot like this. Cool. Awesome. Where it extends then at bit to bit, and the little metal pieces of the rapier itself extend so that each one is unattached from the other in small little inch sections where it keeps its sharpness, and then a central cord moves down the center of it, sort of like a spine to this. In fact, a lot of it might have been influenced from the bone naga that you guys saw, because it's design that you guys all come to a consensus with. Sora does resemble the spine of a bone naga that you guys saw very recently. But he goes, "Well, now that is different. Yeah, I could build it for you. I'd need the materials, of course," he says, as you guys are standing in a shop full of scrap metal and pieces.
it appears you have plenty here.
Everyone gets their own materials for what it is that I build. That's the rules. That's why you don't have to pay me.
Alright. Where can we find these materials?
Depends on the durability of what it is that you're looking for. Either you could go out to a shop down the road and just pick up any old iron from any old blacksmith, or you could try and get something a bit more powerful. Maybe something like dragon steel. Something of the sort.
Where would we get that?
Dragon steel is formed naturally in the heart of volcanoes. And unless you're willing to go on an extreme adventure, you guys might just want to stick to a little bit of iron. He says sort of in a condescending tone.
Well, we do enjoy a good adventure, but I don't think we have time for that at the moment.
That's what I thought. Just go pick up some iron, and I'll have it for you a day after you bring it to me.
Before that, remove my one gauntlet that has the like the extended thingy to grab people.
Okay.
Is there any way that you could make this shoot a little bit quicker? Hoping to get it to go on a bonus action.
I thought that's what you were doing too.
Yeah.
Let me see it. He begins to pull it apart, open it up, and just removing the casing and stuff without messing with any of the mechanics of it. I mean, whoever built and designed this did a pretty good job, I will admit. Resentfully. But, it's not much I could do, at least not right now. Maybe if you gave it to me for a long time and I took a look at it, but the way you guys don't pay me is that I sell a lot of my own commissions, things that I work on for a much larger scale, and so that's why I'm able to tinker on projects that I find interesting. If I were to undergo this, it'd take me quite a bit longer, and I wouldn't be able to work on the things that I need to get done, and so, no money. So, sorry. That's a project I'm not willing to undergo at the moment. Unless, of course, you pay me.
How much would you need to be paid?
Couple thousand.
How
Take a
long would it
week.
take?
A week.
I will hand over 2 of my medium diamonds, which are worth 500 gold apiece. Would you take these diamonds?
That's half the payment, sure.
Okay, and I'll put the diamonds down and slide them over. And how much would you charge to just make his sword? If I can pay to just have my gauntlet done, or do we actually need to go and get the iron?
Fair
Can we
enough.
just purchase some of your metal here?
Well, I wanted to see you guys put some effort into it, but I suppose gold is effort. I do have a few pieces of not quite dragon steel, but hardened steel around that I could use. That'd be 1 more diamond.
The medium?
Another 500, yeah.
Okay. I'll hand over another one.
Okay. Alright. I guess I can do it.
Starting to run low on my smaller diamonds here. Oh well.
And I'm still
Oh,
getting 2
Mr.
more on
Moneybags is
completion,
running
right?
low.
And I'm still getting 2 more on completion, right?
2 more on completion.
Yeah. Because he said, when you asked with 2 diamonds was enough, he said for half of it.
I thought you said it was only 1,000 gold.
He said
He
a
said
couple
a couple
thousand.
thousand.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yep, 2 more on completion.
It's totally worth it to get that on a bonus action, dude. That's pretty.
Yeah, I
pretty
know, right? Totally worth it.
I'll have both these done within a week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You said you already had some stuff available, correct?
I mean, I have a few odds and ends that are, we'll just say, experimental.
Got anything in the way of crossbows?
Well, I do have a bit of one that's, has a bit of an exploding bolt, but sort of misfires 1 out of 10 times.
I'll come back when you work out the bugs.
Fair enough. That's why they didn't.
And
want
I
it
like
either.
things a little bit more quiet, anyway.
True. In the way of things that are stealthy, I do have a bit of, well, we'll say a cloak. That might come in handy. If you are
As though-
interested in stealth. Well, it doesn't use magic, but instead it uses certain kinds of patterns in sensing, if that makes sense. Basically, it makes its wearer unable to be heard and near invisible. Better to be used in the dark, though.
Can I see it?
Very well. He gets up from
No,
his
it's
chair and
invisible.
begins walking over to one of the towers of stuff as he quickly pushes off a bunch of the metal pieces on top of it and there's just like a little bit of a shoebox underneath it. He opens up the lid and there you see this fine, like, black with silvery or like little studs that shimmer a little bit as he moves it out. Sort of glittery. But he says, "This is the cloak," as he drops it so that it goes down to the length of the floor. He takes it real quick, puts it around himself, and from inside you just hear a like a hum sort of start up. But after that hum starts up, the whole room starts to be a bit quiet. You just hear each other, and there's like an echo of each other's breath. But other than that, you don't hear him. He opens up the thing and says, "Now watch as he closes it, and the moment he closes it, his voice completely stops. And so then and then he opens it up again and closes it, it completely stops. He walks around the room, you barely hear his footsteps, and once he takes the cloak and begins to move around, it's like your brain doesn't want to look at him at a certain point. It's not that he's invisible, you don't want to see him, is what begins to happen. So
Nice trick.
essentially all stealth rolls with this jacket will be with advantage. And no one can hear you or perceive you based on sound while you hear it. They have to see you, and it's still perception. No one that you don't want, that is.
How much is it?
Well, I mean, I was supposed to get a hefty sum from this, but it's experimental now, at least deemed so by me, and sell to you for 500, a tenth of what it was supposed to be.
Deal.
It's yours.
And I hand over the money. By the way, just a quick question. What does he look like?
He's an elvish male. He's sort of got a little bit of a, don't want to say hunch to him, but when you first approached him, he was really bent over in his workbook, or his piece of paper, doodling and drawing, and other than being an elf, he has thick black hair, and is just with eyebrows that are very thick, is almost always frowning, like not frowning, but just almost always squinting his eyes down in a angry face.
About how old does he look?
A little bit before middle age. So for an elf, I'd say
3 or 400.
Oh yeah, 3 or 400. Yeah, never mind. I was way underestimating it. Okay. Yes, 300. Because it's like
Okay.
800 is their life expectancy, right? Or is it
I
600?
think they live to be a little over 700. I think.
700, 300 is perfect then. Yeah.
I look at Ditzley. Would you like anything?
I am fine. And he strokes his mandolin, happy with his toy.
Okay, so I go to the desk and ask, a friend of mine told me you can locate people.
Who's that?
The Lord of the Mages Guild.
Well, then he's spreading false information. I just tinker. I build stuff. And that's about it.
He said.
Can I tell if he's lying?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Would this be perception or insight?
Fair enough. Insight. Yeah, thank you.
22.
He does not seem to be lying.
Okay.
And as the DM, I would like to point out that, Tello, what's his name again?
Tether?
Tether, thank you. Tether said that, you could commission a person to make something to find someone. But he never said that this guy could do that.
Okay. Could you make something that would help me locate a friend?
I could make something that you could put on someone's person and probably know its vicinity and area, so long as it's in this world.
No, that wouldn't help. Thank you.
Alright.
Do you know of anybody in the area, blacksmith perhaps, that would be interested in making a set of armor for a griffin?
Well, not many blacksmiths will, especially considering that they build things upon their own designs and then you sort of fit into it yourself and make your own adjustments. I mean, it does sound interesting. Yeah, I could probably take that on.
And how much would that be?
250?
Nice. Here's a small diamond worth 300.
Thank you.
And how much would you... I don't know if you can make this. I don't know if you are capable of it. But a set of clothes just like mine, but that can stretch a lot.
Now, cloth isn't really an item that I... Cloth isn't really an item that I really expertise in, but I do use it sometimes in some of my builds, and I have some items that could... What kind of clothes?
Just like mine, leather jacket, just cloth shirt, just something that can stretch.
Yeah, I could probably make something like that.
How much?
100 gold.
Mm. Would you take 50 and a potion of thunder resistance?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That one would be more so out of curiosity anyway, and I can't promise I'm going to make it well to begin with, because again, cloth is not my expertise.
No problem. I trust you can do it well.
Anything else you guys wanted? Do you guys want to come and get it all at the end of the week, or did you guys want to essentially get some of the items tomorrow and wait an extra week on the latter part of it.
How long do we have?
I mean, we have an entire year until Zash is dead, so.
We
Alternatively,
could spend a week just chilling.
Alternatively, I could spend as long as you guys need holding on to the stuff before you pick it up. After all, I have an extra 1,000 for me waiting for it at the end, so it'll be safe. You can promise, I can guarantee that.
I think we can settle down in the city for a little while and wait for you to finish.
Yeah, we can figure out your new powers.
Yeah, that too.
Very well.
When I say new powers, I kind of take a step away from Jax.
Alright.
Ah, Jax, do you want to see one of my new powers?
Sure.
And I touch Jax on the shoulder. And you give me permission?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I dimension door and teleport us outside 500 feet straight up in the air.
Oh my god.
It takes us much longer than 6 seconds to fall. So in our fall, I'm laughing maniacally. You feel like you're falling to your death. And before we hit, I use the mandolin to cast fly on both of us.
Oh god.
And then
You said 500 feet?
500 feet, yeah. I did the math a while ago. It takes longer than 6 seconds to fall, so I have a full turn before I can cast another spell.
I have custom rules for falling as well. After 6 seconds, you get 210 meters, which is more than 500 feet.
Oh god.
But you might want to tell me custom rules before I about
Fair enough.
falling.
Fair
before
enough.
I
That's
use
why
a
I'm
spell
telling you
that
now,
requires.
so you can choose to
Okay.
not do this if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I don't do any of that.
Okay. Yeah.
But he can.
No, it's
That
fine.
would have been perfect though, because I almost took Featherfall. So if it didn't work, I could have done that. Thankfully, we're retconning things, but it would have been funny.
Basically, there's a much more special thing that improves damage with the distance that you fall that I found online a while back. And so, yeah, after 6 seconds at 210 meters, you guys would have taken 36d6 damage.
Sweet.
Holy.
These are very realistic
Cool.
numbers. That's 126,000 joules of force.
You can still use it on enemies.
Yeah. Yes, you guys can.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
and
Thank-
as they come down to the ground or just don't go, I say, oh, I want to show you mine too. And I stare at Jax, I concentrate and start speaking another language, and my body starts to morph, and I turn into an exact copy of Jax, a Dragonborn. And my clothes are probably destroyed.
Oh, wow.
That's why you want the stretchy clothes.
Yes, and I
Um,
speak it with Jax's voice.
Yeah, your clothes are destroyed.
Yeah.
I rolled for the integrity of your clothes. They have literally ripped off your body, and you are got a nat 2. You
Wait,
are
how tall is Jax?
7 foot, I believe.
Oh
right?
yeah, they're destroyed.
Yep. You are now buck naked.
Would that area be blank because he's never seen mine, or
That's a good question. Yeah, that
know.
that area
Maybe
underneath.
just like a maybe
it's,
just like
it's a mannequin
a
front.
toy.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
in front?
it's a mannequin bulge, you know.
Well, you almost got it right.
But there is very much so a dragonborn butt in the air.
Are my clothes still like hanging on from me?
They got shredded and fell to the ground. Like you could pick up the cloth pieces and hope
Yeah,
that
I'm
nobody's
gonna pick a
behind
little
you.
bit of the cloth and just like tie around me and cast disguise self to make it look like regular clothes.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, I'd say that you could. Well,
Okay.
disguise self.
What
I
was the
can
first spell you cast?
I would
alter
say.
self.
What's prestidigitation? The exact reading of that?
Well,
You know?
alter self can alter self make you look like a full other race? I'm pretty sure
Yes,
it
it
only
can make
gives
me
you.
look whatever I want.
Can it? Oh, okay.
You can make yourself appear as a member of another race. Though none of your statistics change, so I don't get extra strength or anything. It's just visual.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Then your transformation was just visual to begin with.
No. I change physically, but I don't get like extra strength or the breath weapon. But my body changes, not an illusion.
Yeah, it's kind of like his actual body like morphs with him, kind of a thing.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, and I would say that you could definitely use this. You could definitely use disguise self to fix things, but also probably prestidigitation too, since you
I
can
don't
make
think
minor
so.
illusions of things. Let me double check.
Would clothes be minor illusion? I can make
Yeah.
a illusory trinket, like a tiny hat.
Can I fix his clothes
You
with
can-
mending? I don't know the
Is-
extent of mending.
I do have a question. Is alter self a concentration spell, and is disguise self a concentration spell? Because I cannot remember. Because if they both are, you can't do both.
It doesn't
I-
say here.
Do not remember. Let me look at that.
I think he could.
No, it lasts for 1 hour.
Oh yeah, no. Illusionary image could only be the size of something that can fit in your hand.
Yeah.
So it cannot.
It
be
doesn't say
prestidigitation.
here how long this. Oh yeah, the spell lasts for 1 hour, and it is not concentration.
Cool. So yeah, disguise
And I
self
can
would definitely work.
change how I look within this 1 hour.
You make it so that the shreds of your former clothing now appears to be the exact same clothing, except to fit a much larger dragonborn. And now everyone in the group realizes, now that there's no longer a naked Jax in front of them with a mannequin bulge, that there are in fact twin black dragonborns in the room. And you do also, Tristan, have the newly formed scars that you've noticed Jax to have, if you wish.
Yes.
Okay. So you both look exactly the same for every cut, every scrape, every blemish, every single feature. You look exactly the same, except for the clothes.
Yes. And as I cast the spell, you can see that I touched my notebook with the drawing that I have of Jax.
Nice.
Why do you have a drawing of me?
I use it for the spell.
Mira kind of looks down at the ground, kind of in a bad mood because everyone could do cool stuff, and she's like, "My aim got better."
Small victories.
That's good too.
She gives you all an evil look, and then she storms out of the store.
Just shrug and follow her. So, what are we gonna do for the week in the city?
We can just chill.
Well, seeing how much money Jax has and how poor Itzley is, he's going to try to perform like extra for the week. He would probably work as hard as possible and just do a lot of the performing as possible, or as much performance as possible, but also do some whisper campaigning through his performance, just talking shit about the guardsman in I forget the name of the town,
Asante.
to be honest. Asante, thank you.
Yeah, and I would accompany him and use outer self to make me look like the guy, the mayor, the Yar from the city, but with like.
But then you have to act though, so I have to teach you like how to act like a villain and how to look detestable and how to like get boos and jeers from the crowd, or else
Yes,
you can't
but
do that. If you can't practice that stuff, you can't join my troop. I'm just saying.
Well,
I can't
sure.
remember. How good is Tristan's charisma?
Very bad.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Have fun,
So,
Itzley.
So I practice with Tristan. That's totally fine. But when I see what his skills are like, I lie to him about the nights that we're performing, and he always shows up, and I'm just not there for some reason.
But would a bad charisma be good for playing like a villain? It would make me look really
Maybe.
bad.
Yeah, maybe. No, but if you can't play the part, you just be like all hacky and stuff like, "Hi, I am the bad guy." Rawr.
Jax would be doing research on the locations of the hammers to figure out what he can about them. So, Aquarius, the Furnace Wilds, and he already knows about Mirage. So, not Mirage, but
Okay. From what you can tell, from the mention of everything, Mirage seems to have the most backstory about it. However, there's not much, seeing as how it's believed that the hammer was for sale in the bazaar a long time ago. Some private collector bought it, and that's really all that you learn about it. The Furnace Wilds you learn the least about, seeing as how you learn that it's just somewhere out in the middle of these Furnace Wilds by a number of burning trees that they point out, other visual landmarks that very easily could have changed over time.
sure.
A number of rock formations, which at this point could have corroded away or been covered with so much ash that it's just irrelevant. But the middle one, Aquarius, you do learn a little bit more. Again, it is directly in the middle between the shore and the landfall of the island where Aquarius is, which is not the island of Vok. It is the island of... Let me take a look at my map here. Ano. It is the island of Ano, named after the volcano Ano, which is there. Aquaria sits right on the outside of it, just north of Silverbell, and to the northeast of Silent Drew, where you guys have been.
Does it tell how deep down we have to travel to get?
It says that its depth is about... the indication in meters is about 4,000 meters down. So that's around 2 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would also like to spend the week trying to track. Tristan would like to track his father, his teacher, trying to go around the city, see if anyone has seen him or how he can find him, and also do some pickpocketing.
K?
Yeah, K. And also do some pickpocketing around the town.
Ooh, also, Jax is going to write a letter back to the Citadel to see if they can send Gregory this way during the week, so I can have him back.
Fair enough. I'll say that you think about that at the beginning of the week. You send it there through the... much like there's a terminal where you teleport with magic teleportation pads, there is definitely a magic messenger service in each and every city. You guys have seen the messengers that go around building to building from your very first day over in Silent Drew and stuff. You see those messengers, but the way that they get those messages is through magical means at a magical transportation hub of letters. You go to the message service. It's 2 silver pieces to send it. You don't even have to mark it. You send the message over to the Citadel for Lord Aowen. Or who do you direct it to?
I will actually send it to Lord Awen because I had the Griffin stationed there, I believe. And also stating in the letter, I'm going to ask if he could possibly help me acquire a permanent home, a keep of sorts. I will obviously pay to have it built or purchased. One that's a little more secluded, perhaps.
Okay. First thing I want to ask, and then Tristan, we're gonna have you make some rolls for sleight of hand in a minute here. Did you leave Gregory in the Citadel? I thought that he flew you guys over to Lum.
He flew us to Lum, and then I told him to head back to the Citadel.
Okay. That was the only thing I didn't know if I was missing.
Yeah.
It did sound familiar, but I was like, did he ask him to fly back to the Citadel? Okay.
Yeah.
So you sent him back to the Citadel. Unfortunately, by week's end, you do not hear any message as of yet. We'll continue off the next week in the next episode. And we'll continue everything else that you guys do for the week now. Tristan, do us a favor. Go and make some sleight of hand checks. I'll say 5 sleight of hand checks for 5 different occasions.
21.
Nice.
24.
Excellent.
16.
Okay.
21.
Wow.
And 13.
Okay, with 13.
I have
And the-
plus 10 to sleight of hand.
Very last one that you're going to... You rolled a 3?
Yes.
Gotcha. On the very last one that you're going to pick the pocket of, as you see a lady... The number of people that you picked were always more lavishly dressed people in the much more lavishly adorned upper class of the city here in the Central Ring. Somewhere at some point, I believe, I would think that you would pick out like more elegantly dressed people.
Yes.
The last lady that you picked the pocket of, she's a wider woman, we'll say, with a sort of fur hat, not fur hat, a feather hat, that's what it's called, and a fur coat, and a purse around her arm. You try to pick out the coin purse out of said purse. As you're going to do that, you drop it onto the ground, but she does not notice. She continues to walk away, and you do not get caught in any of your pickpocketing escapades. You walk away with a total of 146 gold pieces, 2 pairs of gold earrings, so a total of 4 gold earrings.
Sorry, how many gold pieces?
146.
Okay.
2 pairs of gold earrings, a gold necklace, and a silver ring, which appears to have a bit of an aura around it. I would say that throughout the week you're able to also discern what this is. Speaking of, and if you guys don't do this, that's fine, just let me know. But do you guys take time to investigate any of your unknown items that you have?
I was gonna do some of that stuff when I got to my turn.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think I have anything.
I didn't think
Yeah.
in this town we could do that. So I was holding off on that until we got back to
That's
like
right. Nobody really
Citadel or
knows.
somewhere else.
Identify but there are still a few magic shops here. There's like 1 magic shop in the upper district, and there's 2, I think, in the middle class district.
Yeah,
Okay,
awesome.
then,
I would
yeah.
also sell all the earrings and rings that I get.
Okay.
How much would that be?
You sell all the earrings and the rings?
Yeah, everything that I got.
Okay. You gain an additional 750. No, wait, sorry. 1,250 gold pieces.
Okay.
Nice.
Each pair of earring was 250. That was 2 of them. That's 500. 250 for the necklace and 500 for the ring.
Sorry, I got 700?
1,250.
Okay.
Can always be nice and pay your buddy back for.
That's it.
No, yeah, I would definitely go with Mira to have our things looked at. Well, my armor and her many things that I don't know about.
I
Oh,
wouldn't
sorry,
go
she
with
might want
you.
to be secret about it. Of course. Then Jax will go alone to figure out what his armor does.
What were the items that you had, Mira, that you'd like to check?
Well, first things first, there are 3 things I want to do in this order. The first thing I want to do is get a lock commissioned for that journal I have.
Okay.
Whether it be a puzzle lock, a lock with a key. We can talk about that later, I guess. What options do I have?
Well, you could do a puzzle lock for 10 gold pieces and a lock with a key for 5.
Okay, I'll do the puzzle lock. So that's 10. The next thing I do was I would go to the magic shop alone, one of them, to get all my stuff appraised.
All right, what did you have?
I have the staff with the snake on it, a scroll, 2 magic rings, and a sword that I could find at Grendel's. That I found downstairs. I have a miniature bronze tree that has a serpent entangled on it. I don't think I'd probably look at the D6 that I found that rattles a little bit, see if it's magic. I have that red gem, the cloak I found, and I would see if that sword I also found in the crypt had any magic to it.
That's a lot.
I have a lot of shit.
First and foremost, the little bronze statue with the tree. There was nothing magical about that one.
Okay, just
they
bronze
tell you
statue.
that.
Got it.
Yeah. The first ring that you got appraised, you said 2 rings, right?
Yes, the 2 I found at Grendel's place.
One of them is the Ring of Mind Shielding. It requires attunement. While wearing this ring, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine when... Sorry, there's a frog in my throat. Determine when you're lying, know your alignment, know your creature type. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it. So there's that. Next one is the Ring of Spell Storing. It also requires attunement. The ring stores spells cast into it. Yeah, if you look up the name of these different things, then you'll be able to see it. But
Okay. Also the ring that Tristan gave me. I know he got the description. It was a mind ring of some kind. Was it the same as Ring of Mind Shielding?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna sell that one.
Okay. You sell the Ring of Mind Shielding. Next up is the staff, the Serpentine Staff. Boy. Let me find that one.
If you want to, you can send me a link in Discord. If it's a lot of reading.
No, this one, I just had to find it, sorry.
Okay.
This one is... First off, it requires attunement by a cleric, druid, or warlock.
Son of a bitch.
And you can use the bonus action to speak on the staff's command word to make the head of the staff become that of an animate poisonous snake for 1 minute. By using another bonus, you can use an action to speak the command word again and return the staff to its normal inanimate form. It's the Staff of the Adder. Staff of the Adder.
ATTER?
ADDER, like Blackadder.
ADD. Okay. It sounded like a T, sorry.
No worries. Next up, there were the 2 rings, the trinket,
Scroll.
the scroll. Oh boy, that was a loot item. That was the scroll. that is... Oh, jeez. The Scroll of True Seeing. The very rare scroll, damage 200. What else was there?
The red gem, the cloak I found. I wanted to see if that D6 I found with the slave stuff was magical or not. And then there was a sword that we were debating whether or not it was a falchion that we found with the armor.
Sword
Oh, and the sword that Grendel had as well.
Okay. The sword that Grendel had is a magical sword. I'll let you know about that in a little bit. The sword that the body had in the basement did not have... It was a falchion? What do you mean by that? Sorry.
We were debating whether or not it was. We were trying to figure out what the correct descriptor for it was, because it wasn't like a normal sword.
It was... It's a non-magical sword, but it has a bonus attack kind of thing, and it's shown just as much as the armor itself. The armor, if Jax, you go and get that examined, that was armor of... I forget the exact name of it, but it never wears and it always stays shiny. It also has +1 AC. Armor of something, which I will send you. The ruby, that was just a red gem, a normal ruby, but it was more so the item that created the trap, but it was also used to light up the entire area by the light that was shown into it, and it does have like a little bit of magical property that you notice, like in a dark room it will give off a little bit of light. You think maybe because of the remaining magic that might have been within it or so, but it is for the most part dormant now. And it is just a very valuable red ruby now, worth about 10,000 gold pieces. Because it's a large ruby. The sword, again, I will send you the info on that. And what was the other thing?
The cloak that I found in the crypt.
The cloak that you found in the crypt. That one was something very special too. But yeah, with True Seeing, the spell gives the willing creature you touch the ability to see things as they actually are for the duration. The creature has true sight, notices secret doors hidden by magic, and can see into the ethereal plane, all out to a range of 120 feet. So there is that. So cloak. And after I searched this, what was everything else everyone else wanted to do during the week?
Well, Jax did his armor. After spending some time learning things, he would challenge maybe Tristan to a race on foot. See if he's
He would
interested.
take on that.
All right. Upon starting the race, he will give him a 6-second head start. Then he will bonus action cast Expeditious Retreat and fucking blow that kid out of the water by just flying past him.
Mira, that was the Cloak of the Manta Ray that you got.
Ooh, nice.
And upon learning about this, you sort of had that gut feeling like Grendel's so wise, he knows so much. Could he have known that you were gonna come in and destroy his basement and take all of his stuff? Like, could he have known that you guys would find these items and take these? Could it all have been planned to help you out, but you don't know. It's just like that little thought in your head. Alrighty.
All right. Along with the first ring of mind shielding, I'm also selling my X-ray vision ring because that thing has not done me any good.
Okay.
I'm also going to sell the bust. Not the bust, the snake tree thing.
Okay. First off, the Ring of Mind Shielding you get 500 gold pieces for. The bust was what of what again?
It was the bronze tree mini with the serpent.
Yes. That is... You get more like 10 gold pieces for that. It's just a little item. And after the week's end,
I did want to do one more thing. I'm really sorry.
fair enough, no problem.
Throughout the remainder of the week, I kind of wanted to go around and ask if any of the inventors would teach me anything, because I have a feeling that our stuff was going to get broken eventually, and I just want to
Okay.
start learning how to fix things.
I'd say that you're able to take like an apprentice craft kind of thing. Do me a favor, after a week of trying your best to learn that, on D&D 5e it sort of sucks, because does anybody remember in D&D 3rd edition, or I think it might have been 4th edition, where like they had additional skills that you could write in and stuff? You, oh, bye Sean, see ya. He had to go.
Hey.
See ya.
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Have a great night,
No worries.
guys. Enjoy the rest of the shopping session.
Bye. Have
No,
a good
I-
one. You get a tinkerer's skill. For tinkering, it would be the same level as your intelligence.
So would I be? Do I get tinkering proficiency, or do I just get? I'm able to use it.
You just get the skill that you're able to use tinkering, and use your intelligence for it.
Okay.
What is your intelligence by chance?
I have 14, so it's +2.
+2. There you go. So anytime you will roll a tinkering check to fix or repair anything for the future, it will be +2.
And if that's the case, I would go ahead and buy a tinker's kit.
Okay. That
And-
costs you like 10 gold pieces again. And what does Jax do?
So that armor, is it just like the armor of gleaming or something, where it like just doesn't get dirty, like a +1 version of armor of gleaming?
That's what it was. Yes, Armor of Gleaming. There
Okay,
was something about it though. Armor of Gleaming has something else too. About its. Armor of Gleaming is a breastplate. It doesn't weigh anything, and or no, it does, but never gets dirty. This armor consists of fitted metal piece worn, although it leaves legs, relatively. Without leaving the wearer relatively unencumbered. It provides stuff to your vital organs. Yeah, it's I'll say it's a +1 armor of gleaming. Yeah, that's a good descriptor of it.
Okay. Can I just try and sell it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You would sell it for 500 gold pieces if you wish to.
Sure, fair enough.
Okay. At the week's end, it's about at day 7 that you guys all wake up. You guys are all still rested and stuff, so make sure that you mark that you have full rest. You're all at full health, because Mira, you were harmed, or no, who was harmed? But it was days ago. Yeah, Mira was harmed when Jax accidentally electrocuted her.
Could
that
I
was
find
days ago.
anything about Kay during the week?
Ooh, not here. No, you haven't heard anything about Kay.
Okay.
You all had a number of dreams. Jax, you had a number of dreams with Sahani Moonbow, where she talked a little bit, very listening and considerate toward your current state with everything that happened to your family. She brings that up, and you guys talk about that a little bit. You discreet as much information as you'd like, but you have the feeling deep down that she's a god, and she might know a lot as is. She has not revealed her true nature to you yet, though, as to who she is. Tristan, you have a number of visions as well with the old lady, but more about that in the next episode. And at the end of the week, where we're going to finish off this episode, you guys wake up on day number 7. Tristan is going to have a certain dream, and once you guys do awake, Zash wakes up with a bit of a coughing fit, unable to breathe, unable to think. He is showing signs of deterioration already, showing signs of something being wrong, and from next week on, he has disadvantage on Constitution saving throws.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's... Well, we don't usually make a lot of saving throws of Constitution, but...
That's gonna suck if he has to do any concentration checks.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we will all continue the rest of that and the next week, though. So be sure to tune in for that one again, guys. Thank you so much again for Miss... What was it? It was a funny name.
Lube, I think.
Miss Lube, yeah, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for staying tuned the whole time. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, again, please be sure to like and subscribe. It is free to follow, and we would love to have you each and every week. But we hope to see you guys again soon. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
And on Justin's behalf, I'll say bye, everyone. Okay, bye.